good morning and thank you for joining us on After GMS. It is after Monday. It's Tuesday.
Sure is.
August 3rd.
I love that.
Yes, I'm Tracy McCain here with Megan Malaris, Christian Morgan, and Ed Matt. That umbrella is still out.
It sure is. Yeah, Ed, we are getting quite a soaking right now.
Yeah, I told you to carry along the umbrella, and that's exactly what Christian's been telling. But all of the rain, it has been very light this morning, but it continues to track from southwest to northeast into the Triad, moving up from South Carolina into the Charlotte area, and now some of that working into the Triad. But again, amounts are going to be generally light, and most of this will fall this morning, and then showers this afternoon, and really for the next few days are going to be much more isolated in nature. So not an overflow of the rain gauge today or anything like that, but just keep the umbrella close in case you get under one of these patches of rain today. Now, one thing that's going to happen is the rain and the clouds are going to hold the temperatures at bay. We're looking at highs into the mid 70s today, upper 70s tomorrow and Thursday, but note the low chance. A lot of extra clouds, but only a 30% chance of a few isolated showers Wednesday and Thursday. And then by Friday, as we start to crank the heat back up a little bit, we're back into the low 80s, maybe a pop-up storm in the afternoon, and that's going to be pretty much the same deal for the weekend. Looks as though outdoor plans are a go for Saturday and Sunday. About a 40% chance of an afternoon storm on Saturday, but only a 20% chance on Sunday. But you see those temperatures heat back up well into the 80s, and we may crack the 90-degree mark early next week.
Sounds good, sounds wet, but sounds cooler.
Yeah, much better than last week's stifling heat and humidity. This is okay for now.
Absolutely.
It's nice to walk outside and not
Yeah.
feel like you're in a sauna for once.
It does feel nice. All right, so Christian, you're leading off our first conversation.
That's right. So starting this week, actually yesterday, the National Weather Service is sending out a new way for us to receive severe thunderstorm warnings. So right now, your phone is going to be getting one of these emergency alerts. You see this? But it's all going to be based on the type and the severity of the severe thunderstorm. So what's going on is basically, so far up to this point, there's kind of been a one-size-fits-all for severe thunderstorm warnings. The criteria for a thunderstorm to be severe meant that it had to have 58-mile-per-hour winds or higher. It had to, or it could have 1-inch hail or larger, or it could possibly produce a tornado. Any combination of one or two or three of these things could cause a thunderstorm to be severe. And when it featured one of those items, that's when we got that severe thunderstorm warning tag on it. But this is going to be changing, and it really starts right now. So the way that the National Weather Service is going to send out these alerts is going to be a base severe thunderstorm warning. So if it meets one of those items in that criteria, whether it's a 58-mile-per-hour wind gust, 1-inch hail, or possibly producing a tornado, it's going to get a baseline severe thunderstorm warning like we've always gotten. But the difference here now is that these impact-based threats are going to be categorized in a considerable tag and a destructive severe thunderstorm tag. And what that means is once a severe thunderstorm gets strong enough or features an 80-mile-per-hour wind gust or baseball-sized hail, your phone is going to get one of these emergency alerts for a destructive severe thunderstorm. So it's going to be again, impact-based. You're still going to get the overall severe thunderstorm warning, but then it'll be broken down if the severe thunderstorm is stronger. 70-mile-per-hour winds will constitute what we're going to call a considerable severe thunderstorm tag, and once you get to that 80-mile-per-hour threshold is when you'll get that destructive severe thunderstorm warning tag, and that's what will issue and prompt that warning on your phone. And I guess up to this point, there's kind of been some complacency about severe thunderstorms. I feel like people maybe don't take them as seriously as they do a tornado warning because they say, oh, well, it's just a severe thunderstorm. But in this situation, it will kind of differentiate between something really, really dangerous and something that's kind of your baseline severe thunderstorm. So there's ways that you can actually turn this on in your phone and ways that you can check to make sure it's already been done in your phone. So if you go to your settings, your notification settings, you'll see that wireless emergency alert option. And if you have an iPhone, it's got that little green light next to it. You can go ahead and flip that on if it's not on yet. And if it's already on, you're good and you're set to go. So if one of these gets issued, then you'll get that alert on your phone. Same kind of thing happens when we get an amber alert around here or a flash flood warning around here. You might get those alerts on your phones. You might have seen those before. But now you'll start to get these with severe thunderstorms if they meet that destructive criteria.
I love this idea, especially if you're out and about on the go, because these storms can pop up at a moment's notice, especially in the summertime, which is why they're called pop-up storms.
Right.
So to be able to get this alert and know, okay, I can stay in this store a little while longer, and then maybe in 20 minutes from now, it'll be much safer to drive home, gives you some peace of mind.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and I just wrote on the feed here that driving through thunderstorms are horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it can cause flooding. It can, make it hard to see. Other people also struggle when it's, to drive when it's storming like that. So, I mean, it could lead to traffic issues. You never know what can happen. So, if this gives us the advance warning that we need, that, hey, this thunderstorm is a little bit more significant than just your run-of-the-mill storm, then I think that's great. So, Ed, you are a man with so much expertise on this subject. This is kind of like that notice that I think has been missing for a while.
Oh yes, it has been missing, and I think this is awesome that this is coming into play and they're going to be doing this. And it essentially just better defines how severe, how strong the winds are. Above 58 miles per hour, maybe 70, 80 mile per hour winds, which would obviously be much more destructive than 58 mile per hour winds. And hailstones, we know that not all hailstones are an inch in diameter. Believe it or not, they can actually be a lot bigger than that. So this kind of just gives an extra level, if you will, of very valuable and very important information, because I think Christian will agree, not every storm is alike. As a matter of fact, quite frankly, they're all very different. Some are more severe than others, and this will give us an opportunity to alert you, and you get the alerts on just how potent and how dangerous the storm is. So it's a great thing.
Yeah, not all thunderstorms are created equal, and that's for sure. And this kind of goes along. We get a lot of questions when we have severe thunderstorms, or if we issue, if we tweet out or send out or mention on air that there's a severe thunderstorm warning. The question that we get is, okay, well, how severe is it? How bad is it? Is there hail in it? Is it possibly producing a tornado? How high are the wind gusts? So I think these new tags sort of answer those questions on their own, on their own. And this will really be kind of out of sight, out of mind for a while until we get a severe thunderstorm that does meet one of those considerable or destructive criteria. So it's not like the regular severe thunderstorm warning we've been used to is going away. This will just be a new way to classify those that are stronger and more severe.
Yeah, there was a situation I was in recently where we were at my in-laws' house and it started hailing. And if I had known about this, even a few minutes before, I could have moved my car inside some kind of a covering, and I ended up having some hail damage. So with these warnings being issued, about how much time do you have to take action or prepare before something actually starts happening outside, Ed?
Well, it depends really where you are relative to where the storm is issued. And what we try to do when a severe thunderstorm warning is issued is zero in on that storm, get some idea of how fast it's moving and the direction it's moving. That's very important as well, and how long it would take. Say there's a thunderstorm over the city of Winston-Salem and it's tracking to the east at 35 miles an hour. How long will it take before it impacts western Guilford County and also the city of Greensboro? And that's what we try to map out so you can be prepared for when the storm arrives in your particular area.
Yeah, and Christian, you alluded to this earlier. People hear thunderstorm and they kind of get complacent about it. But these storms can be destructive, and straight line winds are always an issue. So I'm not trying to be your meteorologist here. You know more than I do. But people should take these seriously.
Yeah, they absolutely should. A lot of times people say, well, it's not a tornado, it's just a severe thunderstorm warning. And I'm here to tell you that a straight line wind gust, or all it takes is one 60 to 70 mile per hour wind gusts to bring down some trees and really cause damage and cause power outages. So just because the storm is not rotating doesn't mean that it's not destructive and that it can't cause some damage. And the other thing, I'll allude to this too a bit, you were talking about, and you and Megan were asking about lead times on storms.
Yeah.
When a storm pops up, it not necessarily is severe, but it can, of course, intensify over time, and where it becomes intense enough to warrant a severe thunderstorm is when the National Weather Service will warn that. So we aren't actually the ones who issue these warnings. I'll reiterate that fact too. The National Weather Service does that. But like Ed said, if a storm is really tracking fast and moving east across Guilford County fast, and it's picking up speed and intensity, you know, the National Weather Service might go ahead and extend or issue that warning to not only include Guilford County, but also include Alamance County, just based on how quickly it's moving and how quickly it's intensifying. Because looking at the storm and kind of assessing how fast it's moving or how strong it is, you can really get a good idea whether or not it's still going to be severe by the time it reaches a certain location. So of course, when they issue these warnings, the goal is to really have about 30 minutes of lead time on each side so that people can get prepared. So that's one thing that they really work toward. But of course, until the storm actually intensifies and becomes severe, you don't really know that.
Yeah, well, Kim said she thinks this is going to be great, and thanks you for the information. We also heard from Sherry, who said this is easier to know the weather. Carnita agrees, especially on a school bus. Yeah, that's a big important factor when you're toting precious cargo like children. Of course, you don't want to be stuck in a storm. So a great conversation. Thank you for all of your knowledge. All right, let's get to our morning headlines now. Before we get to our second talker, more Triad school districts are making decisions about masks with the back-to-school season almost here. Monday, Alamance Burlington school leaders voted to require masks. It was a narrow vote, 4-3. They now join Winston-Salem, Forsyth County schools and Guilford County schools in that decision. Davidson County board members voted to make masks optional, joining Randolph and Stokes County schools, who say mask wearing will be an individual's choice. A mask mandate goes into effect this Thursday at all Greensboro city buildings. It applies to workers and visitors. At the same time, the city is offering a new incentive to get more city workers vaccinated. Employees can get 8 hours of paid leave if they get shots. This also applies to people who are already vaccinated and city employees who are not yet vaccinated.
Triad health experts say the demand for COVID-19 testing is on the rise. Testing slowed as summer started, but picked up after the 4th of July holiday. The Cone Health Green Valley testing site is now seeing around 200 people coming in for testing each day. Experts say if you have any symptoms of COVID-19, whether you've been vaccinated or not, you should get tested. A Greensboro man is trying to bring back a longtime staple and reopen Beef Burger. The restaurant that was open for more than 60 years closed in May after the owner, Ralph Havis, fell ill. He died last month. Lawrence Chandler, a longtime friend of Havis, has his family's blessing to try and reopen Beef Burger. He says it will take some costly repairs to do so, but he said he is committed to doing it. So we love to talk about food here on After GMS, and today just happens to be another day where food is in the spotlight. It is National Watermelon Day, and we want to hear what you think of the summertime favorite and how you like to eat it. Do you like your melon with salt, a sprinkle of sugar to make it extra sweet, seedless, or with seeds? Well, I asked on my Facebook page, and Tina said seedless, no salt, or in a shake from Cookout. That sounds delicious. Debbie said, I like mine seedless and a sprinkle of salt. My husband uses salt and lime. Interesting. And Janice said, just the pure natural watermelon. It doesn't need any of the additives. The old-fashioned seeded watermelon is the best. Anna said, I like my watermelon very cold and sweet. Yes, and so did my grandmother, who always added a little dash of sugar on her watermelon, and mine too. She was like, sugar for you, sugar for me, and sugar for everybody. And you know, I loved it, but then now when I eat watermelon without it, it doesn't taste right. And I'm like, oh man, I wish I didn't have that, you know, taste for it, because it just adds calories, but it sure does taste good. Some people like it with salt.
Yeah, leave it to grandma though to pack on the sugar and butter and everything. That's just a grandma thing.
That's because it wasn't her kid. It was her grandkid.
Exactly.
Yeah,
I eat mine plain. I just don't prefer anything on it, but I do like it seedless. I accidentally bought a seeded one the other day, and my son loves watermelon too, so it was a pain to try to go through it and pick out all the black seeds, so he didn't choke, thankfully. But I had never heard this before until I covered a story about National Watermelon Day at the farmers market here in the Piedmont Triad. Farmers know them as girl and boy watermelons, okay? They call the boy ones the more oval shaped, longer ones, and then the girl ones the more circular, perfectly spherical watermelons. Maybe it's just my imagination, but the girl watermelons oftentimes are juicier and sweeter than the boys.
Well, girls are from Venus,
Exactly.
boys are from Mars.
Makes sense.
It all
You know?
runs together. All right, Christian, I'm not going to ask you about the girl-boy watermelon thing, but how do you like your watermelon?
Okay, so there's a couple comments I agree with here. One, with ice cream. They talked about the milkshake at Cookout. Yeah, put it in ice cream, we're good. But I also like it really cold too. I don't want lukewarm or room temperature watermelon. I want it really cold. And there are certain things that I really like with seeds in them. I know some folks were mentioning here in the comment section how they like to eat their watermelon with the seeds. Okay, raspberries, blackberries, seeds all the way. But watermelon seeds? What? No. Seedless. Seedless. If I can get it seedless, that's where we're at.
Yeah.
You know, I want to mention this too because I saw this recent, I don't know if it was a trend or whatever people were trying on TikTok, but they were putting mustard on their watermelon. Now I don't like mustard at all anyway, and I definitely don't like it on watermelon, but that just seems so far-fetched to me.
That one came up on my Facebook page. Someone asked on, the page, has anybody tried this with the mustard that you're mentioning? And like people responded and said, oh, the TikTok, I'm not on TikTok, so I didn't know. But I was reading the comments like, oh, that sounds good.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's not that weird. You think of like a family barbecue or a cookout. You have hot dogs maybe with mustard, and then you also have like watermelon on your plate. Kind of all gets mixed together sometime and goes to the same place anyway, Ed. So
yeah,
food doesn't touch on the plate.
Yeah, and I'll tell you something that's really interesting. Have you ever had a slice of watermelon that was grilled on a grill? How interesting that is. Many of our Asian countries do that, and it kind of caramelizes. I think it's pretty good. I've only had it once, but I thought it was really weird and really pretty tasty. I guess what we could say, one of the girl watermelons. I bought it the other day. It's in the refrigerator. It's one of those nice, small, completely round, circular watermelons. It's a seedless. I think the seeds are absolutely annoying. So anytime I can get a seedless watermelon, I do that. I've got it at home in the refrigerator because I like it ice cold, and I might just have to slice that thing up later on today. Maybe a nice dessert after dinner tonight.
Yeah, I'll tell you how far I've come in my maturation here. When I was younger, my brother and I would sit on my grandmother's porch, my grandfather, and we would take a watermelon, bite it, and spit the seeds out and see who could spit it, the furthest. I am more mature now.
Oh, okay.
And would never do that. We had a lot of fun, and I got to tell you, there wasn't a lot to do growing up in Mebane. We would just kind of like watch the train go by, spit seeds from watermelon, and chase some chickens. But now there's a little bit more to do. I was pretty good.
I did the seed spitting competitions at the pool. We always did. There was always one every July 4th at the pool when I was a kid growing up.
See, how far we've come.
It's the simple things in life, you know? Well, a couple of people talking about Ed's suggestion about grilling watermelon. Kim said never had that, but maybe good because grilled pineapples are good.
Delicious.
Jason just loves how you say the word watermelon, Ed.
Oh, really?
I guess with your southern twang. Say it again.
Watermelon.
I love it. I love it.
Now, you see, I was focused on it then, so I might have said it more properly. But yeah, I got a little twang in my voice there.
I love it.
But love those watermelons.
Yes.
All right, Tamrika said they are awesome on the grill. Carnita said pineapple only. And then Kim agrees that boy and girl watermelons do taste differently.
Yeah, I bet they do. I just didn't want to ask him about it. Yeah, I think there is such a thing as boy and girl watermelons, and that's what it is. But Lynetta said, I love my seeded watermelon cold and with a sprinkle of salt. And this is so funny. Someone said, I like sweet stuff, but you don't want to try it. So I'm not really sure. Was that Jason? It was Jason.
Shocking.
Yep. Sharia said, Good sweet watermelon without seeds, cut in cubes, a dash of salt, cucumbers, onions, feta cheese, Italian dressing.
Oh, yeah.
Yummy. So you're talking about a watermelon salad. Sandra likes hers seedless with salt. Nadine said, I never had salt or sugar on watermelon. She said it sounds gross to her. It's it takes some getting used to, I think.
Does anybody put pepper on watermelon? So my grandpa used to eat cantaloupe with salt and pepper on it. But and people are saying salt on watermelon, but I just wonder if anybody ever put pepper on it.
Interesting.
I think my husband's done that with cantaloupe, but I've never seen him do it with watermelon.
No, I have never seen that,
Me either.
but I'm sure it's around. You know, people have like different ways that they like things, and you know, sometimes it's just through the family, you know, tradition. So yeah, that's interesting. You should put that on your page and see if anybody else has done that. We can circle back around.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see. But yeah, a lot of people like their watermelons in different ways. Sherry said watermelon plain with a dash of salt, and I think you already read that one, so I will just keep going here. We're good. Oh, Pat said calm down.
He said calm down, Christian,
Sorry.
specifically.
Sorry.
All right, let's get
control with me.
let's get a final check of our forecast.
love
Weather calm-ish today, but some
love it.
rain we have to dash.
That's right. A little bit cooler, actually a whole lot cooler than we've been used to over the last several days compared to the upper 80s and low 90s where we've been. So we traded our sunny and hot weather for cloudy and cool weather. Give a little bit to get a little bit, right? Mid-70s this afternoon with the extra clouds and the occasional shower from time to time, more so this morning than this afternoon. As we go throughout the rest of the week, though, we'll stick it out in the mid-70s for Wednesday, upper 70s on Thursday. We'll keep that low chance of an occasional shower or pop-up thunderstorm in Wednesday and Thursday. By the time we get to Friday, though, and head into the weekend, we're getting back to very typical summertime stuff. There's still plenty of heat left to go throughout the month of August, and we'll be in the mid and upper 80s for Saturday and Sunday. Saturday right now looks to have a little better chance than Sunday of those pop-up showers and thunderstorms, but of course none of these days coming up are going to be washouts. In fact, I actually don't think we'll see a whole lot in the way of very beneficial or soaking rain over the next few days. A few pop-up showers and thunderstorms on Saturday afternoon, 1 or 2 isolated showers or thunderstorms on Sunday, and then heading into early next week, we are back to 90 degrees. It's been a while. Nice little break for the week.
You have growing support, by the way, for your pepper and salt on cantaloupe and watermelon.
Okay.
The last 3 comments that we had, or 4, Sherry said, my husband does. He loves pepper. Julia said salt and pepper on cantaloupe, salt on watermelon. But then we also had someone say the best way to eat cantaloupe is with salt and pepper, and that was Kim. So,
See, I'm not
growing
crazy.
support.
I'm not crazy.
You're not crazy. There you go. Well, thank you so much for being crazy with us and joining us for another fun edition of After GMS, which is after Monday on a Tuesday.
There you go.
There you
That's
go.
a good way to look at it. All right, have a great rest of your day. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Same time, same place.